Let me make sure I'm up. Sure. Keep talk real quick.
Yeah, what do you want?
Welcome to the PI Podcast, your destination for everything NFL, discussing the latest news and providing in-depth analysis of every NFL game. And now, here are your hosts, Ian and Tesh.
Hey guys, what is up? PI Podcast here with episode 30. We got a lot of
30.
different things to talk about. Yeah. So this 30th episode, we are going to be talking about some big news that happened today. Aaron Donald is officially returning to the Rams for another season and not retiring. He's getting a new contract. The Los Angeles Rams restructured his contract, and he will be playing with them and being paid as the highest non-paid quarterback, the highest player in the NFL, highest paid player in the NFL. That's not a quarterback. That's what I meant.
Dude's making some money, like $30 million a year.
Yeah, he's making a lot. He's making a ton, and it's gonna be cool to see him play again. Hopefully he plays for a few more years and now retires after this year, but we'll see. He may be retiring after this year.
That'd be interesting to see. That Rams team's going to be good this year regardless.
Yeah, they have a really good chance of repeating. They added Bobby Wagner, their whole team basically back. They might even re-sign Odell Beckham just because they want to. So they definitely got everything working for them.
So I kind of want to talk about all this new news for that man, Deshaun Watson. So before we dive deep into it, I just want to say, if any of these allegations are true, he should be banned from the NFL indefinitely. Never allowed to play another snap in the NFL, if these allegations are true. But they would have to be 100% without a shadow of a doubt true for me to feel that way. I don't think anybody in any kind of positions of power should coerce people into doing anything. So if that was the case in this situation, and I'm a firm believer you're innocent until proven guilty, so I'm not casting any stones at him. So whatever we say next about this situation, that's my opinion on it. If it's true, should not be allowed to play in the NFL ever again.
Yeah, I definitely agree with him. To have 24 allegations, that's just insane amount of allegations, and just keeping adding it up every week or almost every day now, that the number is rising. And now multiple reports that he hided like 66 different things as well. So it's gonna get to a point where the Browns paid him $300 million in dead money, and they can't do anything about it. They can probably get rid of most of the money because they're only paying him like $40 million this year, or a few $1 million this year.
I think it's only $1 million against the cap, but I don't know what he's making this year.
Oh, okay, but he's probably been playing a little bit this year, so it's gonna hurt the Browns in the long run. If potentially with new news reporting that this is getting a more higher and higher number of people alleging against him, then it's gonna be a real serious issue for the Browns. And they're probably gonna have to cut him. The NFL is gonna ban him or suspend him for the whole season or his whole career. So it's definitely gonna be something to watch. And they have Baker Mayfield still, but Baker Mayfield doesn't want to play for them, so they're gonna be screwed.
Yeah, but I honestly could see Baker Mayfield playing if he thinks he can play well, because at this point, Baker Mayfield doesn't have any leverage. So I could see him playing to gain some leverage, whether it be deciding where he gets traded to or to improve his stock for next year. And like, we could still see someone get injured anywhere in the league and see him traded for that reason. So, I mean, we'll see what really happens with him. I personally think he's going to be a Cleveland Brown, at least this year. Obviously, it's the last year on his contract. The Cleveland Browns made the mistake of extending his fifth-year option last year. Obviously, they weren't expecting him to have a down season. But Deshaun Watson, this whole situation with Deshaun Watson could really come back and bite the Cleveland Browns on the ass.
Yeah, this whole thing, it's gonna just depend on what happens if Roger Goodell does anything or if the NFL PA does anything against Deshaun Watson, and more stuff coming out. And I think Baker Mayfield, I don't, he doesn't, I think they ruined that relationship, the Browns did. So I don't think there's a very high chance that even if Deshaun Watson gets suspended, that he'll play for them. So, I just think that if Deshaun Watson gets suspended or banned, the Browns are going to be quarterbackless again, and it would be their own faults this time.
Yeah, that's Cleveland has a history of not being able to keep quarterbacks, not being able to find quarterbacks. And they had one in Baker Mayfield, who I'm not saying was MVP candidate type quarterback, but the Browns, he showed the Browns that they could win with him. I mean, they made their first playoff run in 20 plus years with Baker Mayfield. They won their first playoff game in 20 plus years against a division rival. You know, they beat Pittsburgh and win not only in the regular season, but like the fact that they did it in the playoffs when that rivalry has been a bunch of Pittsburgh just destroying the Browns. And Baker Mayfield and the defense of the Browns played really good, but I mean, that wouldn't have happened without a competent quarterback. And I think Baker Mayfield is a competent quarterback. Another guy that comes to mind that they have different play styles, but they remind me of each other, Kirk Cousins, where Kirk Cousins isn't going to do anything extraordinary, but he's going to win football games. And I think Baker Mayfield has that same thing about him, where he's not going to be the best quarterback in the AFC. He's not going to be a top 5 quarterback in the AFC, but he's going to will his team to win in certain games.
Yeah, and I think Baker Mayfield is not. I mean, he obviously. I think he's decent, a good quarterback. I don't think he's amazing yet, but it's still on the last year of his rookie contract, and he was playing on a hurt shoulder last year. So to give up already, you can tell the Browns have no experience having a good franchise quarterback on their team.
Yeah, and the whole situation was really ugly. You know, the Browns basically said they made some comments about Baker Mayfield that they didn't need to make. You know, when it comes to saying he was immature, saying they wanted a mature quarterback. But then you go and get Deshaun Watson. You want a mature quarterback, but then you want some guy that's got 66 different massage therapists in a 17-month period. It's just crazy to me. I think Baker Mayfield actually composed himself like a football player should in most cases. Even after the Deshaun Watson case, I feel like Baker Mayfield hasn't done anything wrong, in my opinion, that you would say, oh, he's not a franchise quarterback because he reacted this way. He reacted well to losing his job to Deshaun Watson. He reacted okay to the Browns going out and saying they needed a new quarterback, they needed a mature quarterback. I think Baker Mayfield handled the situation pretty much as good as you possibly can.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna miss out on Baker Mayfield when they need him. I think this is gonna be a big mistake for the Browns in the future, and I think Baker Mayfield would be going somewhere else eventually, and the Browns will regret it for a while. And we're just gonna have to wait and see if Baker does give him another chance, which is not looking likely right now if Deshaun Watson gets suspended.
Yeah, I think Baker Mayfield might unfortunately go into one of those journeyman roles. I hope he gets a legit shot somewhere, but the way it's looking, he might be a journeyman. I just can't see a lot of teams putting a lot of faith in him as of right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of interesting. I think he'd work well in Seattle, but Pete Carroll's not even thinking about that, honestly. So He might not even
They
get a
might
shot
think about it
there.
next year.
Possibly. Or they might just go quarterback next year in the draft.
They
Depending
could.
on this season. So it's just
I
gonna
predict
be,
they have a top 5 pick, so they definitely can get a quarterback in the next year's draft.
yeah. They'll probably lose a lot of games this season in Seattle, so they'll probably draft someone really high. They could even, it depends what pick they are too. They could get one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the draft next year. And talking about Deshaun Watson though, Deshaun Watson, I really don't know. These allegations are rising up. There's gotta be some that are true and some that are gonna be detrimental and hurt his career.
Yeah, you really never know. I mean, the fact that he had 66 different massage therapists and 20, 20, over 20 of them came out and said he did something. So you never know. I mean, it's a really crazy situation, though, because, you've got the attorney of the alligators that's neighbors, basically, with the Texans owner. So there's a lot to the situation that's kind of weird. And, it could be one of those things where maybe one of them happened, and then all the other girls were like, oh, maybe I could get something out of it. Not saying that's the case, but obviously when you're dealing with an athlete that has millions of dollars, like, there's a chance also that some of that is money driven.
Yeah, it's a crazy situation and something that might affect the start of the NFL season for the Browns. It's gonna be have to looked upon. It's very close to the preseason, so there probably is gonna be a decision made in the month of August in preseason or even earlier, by the NFLPA and Roger Goodell. So, definitely a lot more coming with that as well. So it's gonna be really, really, really interesting to see.
Yeah, the Browns, this was a huge risk. I mean, we don't even know how big of a risk it is until it all folds out. Obviously, you have a franchise caliber quarterback in Baker Mayfield, and you risk it for a guy that hasn't played in a year, a guy that's got 20 allegations before you even sign him. And it goes to show that it's kind of crazy. There was multiple teams interested in Deshaun Watson, and it was kind of all from desperate franchises, in my opinion. Like, I know you don't want to hear the Atlanta Falcons are a desperate franchise, but it was obvious that the Falcons were over Matt Ryan. Because why even pursue Deshaun Watson when you don't even really have that high of a chance of getting him? Same thing with the Saints. The Saints are following Drew Brees leaving, Sean Payton leaving. They're like, hey, we need to get a guy. Boom, they go after Deshaun Watson. The Panthers, head coach is most likely on the hot seat this year. They risked it by grabbing Sam Darnold. Didn't work out. They're like, hey, let's go try to get Deshaun Watson. So it's kind of crazy. The Panthers were one of the first teams that were like, no, we're not interested, after they pursued him. Then the Saints followed, and then everybody thought he was going to Atlanta. He had a lot of ties to Atlanta. But I guess Cleveland were like, we need you, and threw him a fat bag. And it's kind of crazy that he got offered that much money.
Yeah, 300 million. I don't know why this quarterback that hasn't played in a year, quarterback that has a lot of could get suspended, has a lot of allegations against him. I don't know why I would get to see him a regular contract, like a 2-year thing, but as like a $300 million like big contract, I don't understand that.
It's crazy too because there's so many other players that you could have spent $300 million on. That would have, like, granted, I understand a great quarterback. If Deshaun Watson can be great, $300 million for a great quarterback, kind of a good thing to have. However, $300 million could have given you an Aaron Donald, or not saying Aaron Donald would have went to another team, but I mean, a Aaron Donald type player. I mean, could have even got DK Metcalf this upcoming year. Could have gotten Terry McLaurin this year. It could have got there's just so many players that $300 million could have gotten you.
You probably could have gotten Aaron Rodgers too.
You could,
before he even
probably could have
signed.
offered him.
Yeah, it's weird that they didn't even try for Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers is physically gifted and is a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson.
And arguably would have been I don't know if you could call the NFC South easier than his division because he plays the Lions, which in my opinion the Panthers and Lions share similar suckiness. The Bears and Atlanta are very similar in my opinion. Who else is in Green Bay's division? Bears, Lions, Vikings. The Vikings are going to be contenders this year in my opinion to fight for that division. And the NFC South, it would have only been the Saints and Falcons. It would have only the Buccaneers. I forget about them. But still, you never know. Aaron Rodgers, I think, wanted money. I don't think his big thing was staying in Green Bay.
Yeah, and he came out and said that he stayed in Green Bay because he thought Devontae was going to stay, but that it didn't end up happening. Devontae wanted out. So it's kind of like the Browns could have got Aaron Rodgers for that money, and it's kind of weird that they didn't even offer him. We don't know if they offered him at all, but it's kind of weird that they didn't even try, as far as we know.
Yeah, unless the Falcons were just dead set on a rebuild. And honestly, in a rebuild situation, Deshaun would have made more sense than Aaron Rodgers. Because Aaron Rodgers obviously is not going to be playing in the league anywhere near the amount of time Deshaun Watson is.
Talking about the Browns, right? Or
no, the Falcons.
Oh, no, Falcons were never... we were never going to go for Aaron Rodgers.
But I'm just saying in general, Deshaun, and then they were like, that doesn't work. Then they went after Marcus Mariota, and then they're like, we're just going to get a guy in the draft.
I think it just worked out better that Browns offered Deshaun $300 million went there. I think it worked out better because we did get a young quarterback that can potentially develop and be our future starter.
Yeah, I agree. And, there's been a lot of times when the quarterback doesn't work out as a first-round pick, but you find solid quarterbacks throughout the draft, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round, that end up being good NFL players, Yeah,
and Desmond Ridder, he led his Cincinnati team to the playoffs in a college. You know how tough some of those big college teams are, like Alabama and all of them? Just to lead your team, even when Desmond Ridder was probably, and a few others on that team were really good. I mean, he kind of carried them, the Cincinnati team.
Do you think Deshaun Watson will play this year?
I think he's going to get suspended the 6 games probably, but then after that he'll play a little bit.
I personally think I don't think this investigation is going to end in time for a decision to be made. I think he plays a couple weeks, then a decision gets made, and then we hear the repercussions. So I say he plays 1, 2, 3 weeks, and then they're going to have a decision, and then he's going to get suspended or he's not going to get suspended. But to me, to have your name out there in the media in such a bad manner, even if it's true or not, that I think the NFL is going to take action regardless.
They kind of have to. I mean, they don't have to, but they're going to be forced to if more and more things pop out with Deshaun Watson. They're going to be forced to suspend him because then it's going to look bad for the NFL in general.
Yeah, I mean, you already see how much the Browns are getting shitted on right now in the media. There's even I follow on my personal Twitter a lot of Jaguar reporters and stuff, and they all day long are talking bad about the Browns because of the decision to go after Deshaun Watson. And it would be one thing if he had all these cases, they got acquitted, and then they pursued him. But the fact that they pursued him and did not care if they were legit or not. Maybe the Browns know that they can kind of get out of the money if it is true. Because if the NFL suspends them, I doubt they have to pay I guarantee there's a stipulation in that contract that says if these allegations are true, he doesn't get a penny.
There probably is. There most likely is something like
There's
that in the
no way
contract.
the Browns would go in there and guarantee 300-something million if there wasn't a way they could get out of it.
Well, they are the Browns,
Yeah, true. I mean,
so we never really know. I mean,
but a franchise that has been desperate for a quarterback finally gets a quarterback that plays consistently for a couple years
and gives up on him.
And gives up on him. And goes after a quarterback who might not even be able to play.
I'm going to always clown the Browns now for doing that.
It just doesn't make any sense. To a point, I get it. Like, Deshaun Watson, when he did play, was a phenomenal player. He put the Texans on his back. And the Browns, I guess, just wanted a quarterback that could do that. But the problem is he might not be able to. Not only that, the dude's been out of football for a whole year.
You don't know how he's going to play no matter what practice videos you see. I mean, practice doesn't really show the real thing because they're your teammates in practice. I mean, they're not other teams that know how you play or have seen film on you.
And you're not getting hit.
Exactly.
Like, it's not legit practice. Not only that, Deshaun Watson doesn't have a crystal clear injury history either. He tore his ACL. So, I mean, you got a guy that's torn his ACL before, plus hasn't played a year, plus has all these allegations against him. It just, I don't know. It's not a good look for the Browns at all.
This situation's probably going to get worse and worse, and a lot of people are going to hate on the Browns. And they may be forced to hit themselves, the Browns may be forced into a situation where they just, I don't know, a very low chance, like 1% chance, but if the media and if this gets worse and worse, the Browns might have to do something about it.
But you're already too deep in. Like, the Browns can't do anything about it.
And now their image is forever tarnished.
I mean, you went from being a dog water franchise to finally being relevant. Finally competing in your own division, finally being relevant, and then you give up on one of the guys that helped you get to that point.
That's the story of the Cleveland Browns. Right then and there.
Sad.
Definitely wanted the Cleveland Browns to be good when they were bad. And
I
then
did
they
too.
finally started getting good. I was like, okay, they can make something happen. And then they did this, and now I don't care about them anymore. They can do bad. It doesn't matter to me anymore. I hope other teams do better.
I liked the Cleveland Browns for finally coming up. I wanted them to make the playoffs. I wanted them to get better. I wanted them to eventually get a Super Bowl contending team under their belt. But now it's like they just threw away all they worked for, basically.
Yeah, it is just a weird situation, a confusing situation. I don't get what I don't think most other teams, if they had Baker Mayfield and he had an injured shoulder the whole year, a lot of other teams probably wouldn't have done the same thing they would. I don't think they would have gone for Deshaun Watson. I think they would have kept Baker because they know he can play at a decent level. I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what the Browns organization's thinking. That Browns organization has always been bad. The office, everything about them, they haven't been very good in the draft, except for Myles Garrett and some others. But in draft wise, they haven't been good. Their front office isn't good. Their staff is okay at best. It's just weird. And I was trying to remember. I think today that let me see if I can pull it up real quick. There we go. Okay, so Deebo Samuel is expected to attend mandatory mini camp today. So a little bit on that. Deebo Samuel has asked for a trade, and the 49ers haven't given it to him, and they may have kind of made amends a little bit with Deebo, but we're not sure. He could. It's mandatory minicamp, but he still can decide himself if he wants to show or not. And he apparently decided to show up, but that still doesn't mean that he's going to be on the 49ers this year. He could still, there's a good chance he could get traded.
Yeah.
But I think the 49ers also really want Deebo, and I think they're willing to let him sit out and not trade him. If it comes to that.
I really think that they're going to do something to make sure Deebo stays.
And they got you. He's a dynamic wide back. The new term wide back. He's their offense. He was their offense last year. He was the offense the whole playoffs. It was just, that's why they won a lot of their games as well.
Speaking of Deebo Samuel, I'm going to bring up the Jaguars here for a second. Travis Etienne is finally healthy. There's videos of him running up and down the field. It's been awesome to watch. We obviously got robbed of watching his rookie year in the preseason when he got the Liz Frank injury. But there's a lot of talk, and I'm not talking about from fans. I'm talking about from legit NFL reporters that he looks good and that he's most likely going to have a Deebo Samuel type role in the Jacksonville Jaguars offense. Obviously, a player like Deebo Samuel is going to be very hard to replicate. However, Travis Etienne was an ACC player of like a long time because he's a running back that plays like the wide receiver. A reporter actually asked him how he feels about being in a Deebo Samuel type role in this offense, and he said he's like super excited about it. He can't wait to do it. And then the reporter also said, "Are you sure about that?" Because Deebo Samuel is very unhappy in that role. Because Deebo Samuel has said he doesn't like his body's getting put on the line. He wants more money because of that. But Travis Etienne responded with that he's a running back. Travis Etienne's a running back. So every time he's put into a wide receiver role situation, it's less hits on his body. He's not going through the hole. So it's actually better for Travis Etienne to be put into a role like that because he's not getting hit as hard by the D lineman. He's getting hit by a corner or a safety instead. But the difference with him and Deebo is Deebo Samuel's a wide receiver. He gets more hit on his body when he's used in a halfback role. So Travis Etienne, I'm super excited to watch him play in that role. Really excited to see the connection with Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. I mean, they won a national championship together. They made another national championship together. So, like, it's going to be really fun to watch. And then, obviously, I can't wait to watch Doug Peterson coach again. Doug Peterson with Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. That same coach, Doug Peterson, made the playoffs with Carson Wentz, who obviously couldn't do it with a stacked roster in Indianapolis. So speaking of Indianapolis now, I'm really excited to watch Matt Ryan on this team because I personally think Matt Ryan can make far in the playoffs, especially with a team that Indianapolis has built.
Going back to the Jaguars real quick before we get back to the Colts, I'm really excited to see Travis Etienne play. He was out last year. The whole year I really wanted to see him play because I knew he was really good and he had that connection with Trevor Lawrence. And the theme of last year's draft was reconnections and teammates. That was the theme of last year's draft. You saw it with Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts. You saw Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence, and a few others as well. That was the theme of the draft.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase.
Exactly.
Jalen Waddle and Tua. Like, it was... I actually completely forgot about that. And look at the connection. I mean, look at what the connection did for these teams. Tua and Jalen Waddle, they look good together. There was a lot of times Jalen Waddle was on the SportsCenter top 10 plays for the week because of just his insane speed. Obviously, Jamar Chase had a Rookie of the Year type season. Joe Burrow had Comeback Player of the Year type season. And then damn, who's the other two? Oh, Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith.
Yeah,
That
they had
was
really
little
good
bit of a
seasons.
letdown, but they made the playoffs.
Yeah, so it didn't really matter. All these teams have been doing amazing with their former teammates, so it just worked out for all these teams. And it is going to be exciting to see Travis Etienne. I know he's going to be a dynamic player, and hopefully we see him burst speed this year, and I can't wait to see it. Going back to Indianapolis, yeah, Matt Ryan, he's definitely a solid enough quarterback, and he's got a team and an actual defense around him now, and an actual O-line. That's a quarterback's dream to go to Indianapolis Colts. That's why Baker Mayfield wanted to go to the Colts too, because he had that dream situation. He probably looked at it and probably ate some cake after. But yeah, that's a dream situation for any quarterback, and Matt Ryan's gonna excel. I don't care if he doesn't have any receivers. He has Michael Pittman Jr., who's really good, and he has Mo Alley-Cox, a decent tight end, and he has Zach Pascal, who's a solid possession receiver. It doesn't matter who he has. I mean, he can elevate the receiver's play. I mean, he's done it before, and even with more time, it doesn't matter who your receivers are, because if you get time in the pocket, you can make anyone open, and receivers can get open, especially if you have time in the pocket.
And not only that, if the passing game's not working, you have Jonathan Taylor.
Exactly. It's someone I forgot to mention right there. Like, Jonathan Taylor, you can run with him so he doesn't have to pass 40 times a game. This is going to be an explosive offense. That's what I'm predicting. Explosive offense. Fast defense. Turnover heavy defense that's forcing turnovers left and right. And I think they're going to blow a lot of people out. Not going to lie. I think they're just too good of a team to have not less than 9 wins. I think they're going to win 9, probably 10 or more games, and they're probably going to get first in the division. Those are my favorites to win the division in the AFC South.
What do you think that the dude? What the hell? Do you think that the Colts finally win in Jacksonville this year after 8 years of not winning?
I think Matt Ryan is going to improve his perfect record against the Jaguars this year and win both games.
Well, only time will tell.
Oh, I know it. I'm just marking it off as a dub for the Colts. I'm not even worried. But there is a chance in Jacksonville that the Jaguars could win. But that's the only reason. The only way it would happen is if the defense playing horrible and the offensive line is playing horrible, which can be prone to happen if they somehow Jackson will curse or whatever in Everbank Field.
We'll see. I'm excited because, like I said, there's so many teams in the NFL that has improved.
Well, we're going that game anyway, so we'll see.
Well, like I said, there's so many games that are teams that have improved this year. I mean, even a team as bad as the Texans, they improved heavily in the draft. The Jets improved heavily in free agency and the draft. And I know a lot of people are kind of upset at some of the stuff that the Jaguars did, but the Jaguars heavily improved in the draft and in free agency. There's not many teams that went worse. There are a few. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks definitely got worse in this draft and the offseason. Let me reword that. They're worse than they were after the season ended because they lost their franchise quarterback. They didn't replace him. And then they lost their best piece on defense in Bobby Wagner. So they definitely got worse. I know a lot of people think Green Bay is a top team still in that NFC, which I do think they are, but they got worse. I think they did good in the draft. I don't think they did good in the offseason. So those are two teams that on both sides of the division are both conferences that got worse.
Yeah, there's a lot of different changes this year, and just talking about it, I think the Arizona Cardinals got worse a little bit. I don't think I agree. I don't think they improved heavily either. They had problems protecting Kyler Murray, and that really hasn't been fixed. Their defense, They lost pieces on defense. They didn't really gain much. They lost Chandler Jones. They lost Chandler Jones, their sack leader. That's always that's rough. That's rough in general. And they lost some other pieces as well. I mean, I don't know how you're going to come back from that. I don't know how you're going to be able to play at the level you were last year, going 8-0 this year. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, I agree. The Arizona Cardinals did get worse. I honestly haven't paid close attention to their draft picks. However, I do know they lost multiple offensive weapons. I mean, as I know a lot of Arizona Cardinal fans weren't like very upset that they lost Christian Kirk, but they lost one of their best receivers in Christian Kirk. They lost multiple running backs, and they weren't able to replace them.
And that's the problem. I mean, if as an NFL coach and as an NFL as part of the team in the NFL, you have to account for if you're missing players, if you're going to lose players, and you have to be able to replace them at a level that your team will still be fine. But the Arizona Cardinals did none of that, and it's going to be hard. I still think they'll be good. I just don't know if their defense is going to be as good as it was last season.
It's going to be hard to match what they did in the first half of the season last year. Especially, we're not 100% sure Kyler Murray plays.
Yeah, I still think, I think Kyler Murray is going to play really well. Gonna play well. It's just that he kind of, I don't know what that, there's probably something to do with the training or practice, whatever, when they went on that slump. I don't think they had any motivation. There are a lot of, I know these are probably 100% fake, but there are a lot of reports that in middle of the season that Kyler Murray would stay up playing video games late at night, and that's why he always had baggy eyes when he'd go for game day. That's probably 100% fake.
He does stream on Twitch.
He does. That's probably fake, but if there's even a sliver of truth to that, that's just bad as a quarterback in general. I mean, you can do that stuff during the week when you're off, but like to do it right before a game, that's not acceptable. I mean, that doesn't show maturity.
Especially, I'm not sure what time you have to be. Well, I don't know. He's on the West Coast, so I'll give him a little bit of a leeway on that. I was going to say 1 o'clock game. How are you tired at 1 o'clock? But they're on the West Coast, so their game starts at 10. So they're probably getting to the stadium like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Maybe even earlier. I don't know. So I can kind of see it.
Yeah, I went to LA, but the thing was, when I went there, I didn't, like, when I went to sleep, like literally I woke up at like 8 o'clock in the morning every day just because I wasn't used to it. But after a week, I still woke up at 8 and didn't feel tired at all. It was weird. I don't know. But yeah, it's still gonna be. It's still, I get it's early, but you have to be prepared for that. You have to prepare for your rest mentally and physically. You have to rest your body as well. So you have to account for that yourself. I mean, you're in the NFL now. You're not in college. And even college, you have to do that.
Yeah. Probably worse in college.
Yeah.
Because you got school.
Well, I know some other people do it, but I think they try to finish a lot of their class work and that before the football season, right? There has to be some sort of thing where they finish their courses or something.
Yeah, probably.
Because if you had school and that, I think a lot of those football players would fail.
Yeah, that's true. So a little bit of an update. We still have not made our next channel, but
that'll be in upcoming in the next week or two. Probably soon though.
Yeah, it's gonna happen very soon. We've got so many videos to upload to that channel. We're probably gonna do 2 or 3 a week, and they're gonna be videos that you guys have probably seen us do on the podcast. Like we just have so many videos we have to go through and upload. Card-wise, we're still doing our reaction videos every other day or a random video. I will be uploading another Jaguars video. Today's Tuesday. It will be uploaded on Thursday. Okay, so either make it tonight or tomorrow. It's going to be on the Jaguars offense. You guys have been showing a lot of love to our reaction videos and our team talk videos and stuff. So keep it up, please. All those videos I got over 100 views, basically. Some have over 200. So it's awesome for us to see. We've gained a couple subscribers from it. So yeah, we.
Oh, suck
really
about subscribers. Someone just subbed.
Somebody just unsubbed, or
someone just subbed right now. So
nice.
I guess we can give him a shout out. /1146. Appreciate the sub.
That's why we need alerts.
Yeah, that's what we need. Oh, well, I mean, I don't know if we. Oh, actually, we might get the alert on the. Well, I guess I don't know how that works, but yeah.
And then we could send that guy a message and have him make a voice recording of it saying, "Thanks for subscribing to the PI podcast." And like every time someone subs, it'll go off.
Oh my god, that'd be a great idea.
Tip or whatever.
Talk about the teams. I should have I have a defense video, I think ready. Yeah, ready. So that'll probably be uploaded tomorrow as well as the reaction video. So we're gonna.
Cool. And then I'll do offense Thursday, and then he'll upload his offense Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something like that.
Yeah. But definitely
and
look
then
up for
guys, comment down below on the videos of teams that maybe you want us to dive in depth to. Obviously, it might take a little bit because obviously we don't have to research much on our own teams, but like we're gonna do some in-depth film study some players. We can do it together. We can do it far apart. It doesn't matter. Like however you guys want us to do it. Maybe we can take turns doing different teams or something. But we want to provide the content you guys want. So if you guys want us to talk about your teams a little bit more in depth, we can. If you guys just want us to keep doing reaction videos, we can. We kind of want to try. We just have so many video ideas that like it's hard to upload them all and it's hard to make all the content. So maybe we'll take turns doing some. I kind of want to do the top 10 draft pick highlights from college. So the top 10 players I got drafted. It's going to be kind of hard to do the offensive linemen, but maybe we can do like Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson, Derek Stingley, Sauce Gardner, Thibodeau.
All the quarterbacks, Kenny Pickett, Malik.
Yeah, we could do the quarterbacks too. Maybe we'll skip around a little bit on some of the picks, but
yeah.
We'll definitely do some of the quarterbacks, and we'll do maybe the top 5 picks because Evan Neal went 5. Wait. Yeah, Evan Neal went.
Did he go 5 or 6?
I think he went 7.
No, he went 7th. Yeah, because he did it.
Thibodeau went 5. Thibodeau went 5.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do the top 5 picks because it's all defensive players.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll do the top 5 picks reaction to their top 10 plays from college or top plays from college, whatever we can find on YouTube. And then we'll do the quarterbacks, starting off with Kenny Pickett. Then, and maybe we'll do some of our favorite teams' draft picks too. It's just there is a lot of time before the NFL season starts, preseason.
But we don't want to stock up too much because then we're going to be focusing mainly on the NFL season, and we won't have time to do other videos during that because it's going to be all NFL content then.
Yeah, we have a lot of time till the NFL season, but it's only 4 days a week that we upload videos. So, like, we still have, I think, like 10 or 15. We have like 10 to 15 teams left for the reaction videos, that's 2.5 weeks of reaction videos still. And then we still have to, like, if we do the top 5 picks, that's 5 more videos, which is a week and a half more. So, like, I don't know. The time flies. Maybe when the NFL season starts, we'll start doing multiple uploads a day.
Definitely, it all depends on how much time we put in towards all that NFL season stuff. Because I know we're going to be very, very busy during NFL season as well.
Yeah, we're going to be doing the podcast, which is going to take hours. We obviously still have our normal lives to live, which take up time, obviously.
Yeah, but these live streams will be a lot longer than the NFL season. It's not just going to be an hour or 2 or maybe sometimes even 3. these videos are probably gonna be like 3 or 4 hours max a day, like Tuesday,
Minimum.
Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Yeah, I mean, I just
Minimum.
like preview games too. Yeah, it's probably gonna be 3-4 hours minimum.
Yeah, because like for Sunday games, dude.
Oh no,
when
Sunday's gonna be long stream.
Yeah, and then Thursdays are gonna be long because we're gonna talk about what's happening Sunday.
Yep.
And then Tuesdays are gonna be talking about what happened over the weekend. So like, they're gonna be long.
Yeah, definitely hope you guys are excited for that. We're only a couple months. I mean, even in preseason, we're gonna be looking at everything too, even preseason. So, and there's gonna be a bunch of news during preseason too. So, it's just been crazy starting in August. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, so we're going to be running through content. We're going to do all of what we just talked about. We're at least going to finish all the reaction videos for each team's top 10 plays. We're going to do the top 5 draft picks and all the quarterbacks that went, at least the notable quarterbacks. We might not do the last guy that got drafted. We might, who knows. Depends on how much time we have before the season starts. Because then we're going to have to take an in-depth look at teams before the season starts, like right before preseasons and people start getting cut. And we're going to be talking about all that. We're going to be talking about after week 1 of the preseason, they narrow the roster down to like, I think they do the first roster cuts after week 1 of the preseason. Then they have to have it down to a 53-man team. So we'll be talking about all the releases. It's going to be a lot of football talk.
Yeah, just so much. You guys are you're gonna have everything you need on this channel and on our TikTok and all our social medias. So, especially here, you're gonna see us. If you're a fan of NFL, if you're a fan, we talk about every single team. So no matter what team you're a fan of, you guys want to be here football season and all year round.
Except if you're a Titans fan. You're not going to want to hear what I have to say.
He's definitely just kidding.
I'm just kidding. No, because even though I'm a Jags fan, I can still be not biased towards.
I can kind of not be biased towards the Saints, but it's kind of really hard. I think more hard for you than the Titans. More hard for me than the Titans, or than you being me. You being, yeah, you know what I mean.
It would be really cool if I was a Saints fan and you were a Falcons fan.
No, it would not. I would roast you every single day of your life. Because the Falcons have the all-time record against the Saints.
Wearing that jersey.
Whoa, you're not wearing a jersey. You know why? Because of the Jaguars.
All right, that's it with the PI podcast.
Right, yeah.
Just kidding. Imagine that's how we ended it. But yeah, so we got a lot of those videos planned, and we're going to be doing stuff off camera as well, as in getting these cards ready to ship, all that good stuff. Getting these cards ready to sell, trying to take pictures of all the cards.
If you guys are interested in any of your favorite team's cards, we do have a lot of their bases. It depends what team you're a fan of. We sometimes even have their autos as well. So if you're interested, do DM us on Twitter, on TikTok, just mainly Twitter. I think TikTok, we have to be following each other before you can DM us or whatever. I don't know how that works. But definitely check out our Twitter and DM us, or DM us anywhere. Use our business email. I think we have it up, business email up on the description. On the YouTube and description. So definitely, if you're interested in buying any cards, let us know of your favorite team. We have every single team, for sure.
Yeah, obviously, we'll have to talk price on some of it. But DM us your favorite team anyway. Maybe we can figure something out with some of these cards. Remember, we are giving away a signed Byron Leftwich mini helmet when we hit 100 subscribers on YouTube and 100 followers on Twitter. And as soon as we hit that number, we're giving it away. So,
yeah, definitely subscribe and follow our Twitter if you have Twitter. We definitely don't want to miss. We post a lot on Twitter as well. A lot of retweets of updates to all your favorite teams and everything.
I post a lot of funny shit on Twitter.
Yeah. We got a lot of funny stuff, memes and stuff like that. Anyone we posting? And just a whole lot of content. So
somebody tweeted out, how do you have 66 different massage therapists? And I tweeted out post nut clarity.
Oh my god. All right, well, something like that you'll see on Twitter, especially. So make sure you're following our Twitter. Make sure you're following our TikTok. We do videos. Yeah, we do videos every day on TikTok. So definitely check that out. Check out YouTube. We upload daily on here. Dude, we upload daily on everything. So you guys are not gonna be.
And so far, the content has been different on every platform. We don't post the same stuff on every platform. Our YouTube shorts are what we post on TikTok sometimes, but like we don't talk about the schedule videos on YouTube. TikTok has all the schedule videos on. We also do random news updates on TikTok where when news happens, we take screenshots of the tweets and talk about it on TikTok. So we don't do that on YouTube. So it's very beneficial to be following us on all platforms.
Yeah, if you guys are definitely and if you definitely want to know big news when it releases, definitely follow our TikTok. That's gonna be the latest update, the most concurrent update, the most right then and there update you'll see is on our TikTok. So yeah. Oh yeah, Slash, appreciate you for stopping by. Ian's a funny guy. Definitely.
I don't know why, but like I started thinking about that shit while I was going to the bathroom. Actually, 66 different massage therapists posting about clarity. Because after you nut, you're like, oh damn, did I really do that to that girl?
All right. Well, calm down when we're monetized.
Dude, Deshaun Watson was hanging out with Mia Khalifa the other day. Porn star.
Oh, I saw the video where she was dunking on him. Like
yeah, I'm sure that's all that happened that day.
Yeah. Okay.
Might be number 67.
You know what? Let's get these people. Let's do the outro before he gets any further.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for swinging by, Slash. Remember, do not go to 66 other massage therapists.
But most importantly, podcasts live every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 10 p.m. Somewhere around 10 p.m. But mostly, 99% of the time, 10 p.m. Eastern, unless we have technical issues, something like that.
Actually, 99% of the time, it's a few minutes after 10 p.m.
Well, technically, because I do the stand holder and then the intro, so yeah. But you guys will see us.
We don't have the stand holder till like 10:05.
It depends, but make sure to be here at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, because we'll be live eventually. So thank you guys for watching the stream. Definitely feel free to comment, and like if you want us to talk about your favorite team, just go ahead and type in the chat. We definitely can keep the podcast going longer, especially by chat, by like what questions you ask us, what do you think are your favorite teams doing and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely appreciate you guys. Ian, you gonna say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, sure. Goodbye.
All right, we'll see you guys on Thursday. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for watching the PI Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and tune in next time so you don't miss the latest news in the NFL world. You can also follow us on TikTok at PIPodcast and on Twitter at PIPodcasters. Until next time.